The Australian Transport Safety Bureau have released a preliminary report into the train derailment in Wallan, Victoria, which killed 2 in February. According to the report, the train was travelling 85 kilometres over the speed limit when it entered the loop track, causing it to derail.
So earlier that day, the points at either end of the Wallan loop had been changed from their normal position to the reverse position, which meant that rail traffic would be diverted from the main line onto the loop track.
Damaged signalling equipment meant that a pilot got on the train to assist with navigation, but despite this, the train was travelling at 130 km on approach to the loop. The train's data logger revealed that the driver applied the emergency brake moments before entering the turnout, which slowed the train down slightly to 100 km an hour when it hit, still 85 kilometres above the 15 km speed limit. How both the driver and pilot missed this crucial detail until the final seconds is not known.
The continuing investigation will explore a range of factors, including a detailed examination of the alternative safe working system, the operation of the train, the condition of the track and rolling stock, and the crew and passenger survivability.
Mirvac has submitted revised plans to demolish Darling Harbour's Harbourside Shopping Centre and build a brand new shopping centre along with a 153 metre residential tower. The original proposal was strongly opposed by City of Sydney due to its scale and impact, but Darling Harbour is deemed state significant development, which means the final decision rests in the hands of the New South Wales Department of Planning. Meanwhile, on the opposite side of the harbour, Dutch firm Henning Larsen were just announced design competition winners for GPT's 183 metre tower at Cockle Bay Wharf. The project also faced strong objection from City of Sydney as it casts an afternoon shadow over their 30 years in the making Town Hall Square project, but was approved by the not-so-independent Planning Commission. It seems a war is emerging between state planners and City of Sydney Council in a battle of high-rise development versus preservation of sunlit public space. Unfortunately for Clover Moore, she doesn't have all that much say in the matter. This begs the question as to whether the fate of Sydney is inevitable high-density development casting shadows over the whole city. The Kingsford line of the Sydney Light Rail is now open to the public, marking the completion of the controversial Light Rail project. But there was no celebration, probably for many reasons other than coronavirus. Take for instance the CBD businesses who saw their customers disappear while the project faced extensive delays. Transport for New South Wales is still facing a class action over this. Or the taxpayers who forked out $3 billion, almost double the project budget. Or the commuters who, after suffering through 4.5 years of construction, now face longer journey times than on a bus.
Today it took closer to an hour. That's half an hour longer than catching a bus.
A deflated-looking Andrew Constance made the announcement remotely.
I want to thank everybody for their patience, particularly residential and commercial operators.
Constance has never regained enthusiasm for his role as New South Wales Transport Minister since fires ripped through his New South Wales south coast town of Malua Bay and almost destroyed his home.
Doesn't have a lot of money, but we have hearts of gold, Mr Prime Minister.
The locals probably gave him the welcome that he probably deserved.
It seems that seeing his neighbours lose their homes made him realise all the shit fuckery involved within the Liberal government. Construction of the $55 million Snowy Hydro 2.0 segment factory has been given the go-ahead, with construction expected to commence within weeks. The factory will produce the more than 130,000 concrete tunnel segments for the project. But 30 experts have written a joint letter to state and federal leaders requesting an independent review of the project before proceeding. Led by the National Parks Association of New South Wales and Ted Woodley, a former Managing Director of Energy Australia, the group's concerned about the cost, business case, emissions and destruction of National Park.
And as the information has come out, the costs have exploded, the impacts have exploded, and in fact the benefits have been clearly seen to be overstated.
In addition, they claim the project is more likely to cost $10 billion rather than $5 billion, which is already a blowout from the initial estimate of $2 billion.
This is a project that we can confidently forecast will be a drain on the public purse, and whose service in the transition to a cleaner energy future can be met far more cheaply from other sources.
According to the group, the project will emit 50 million tonnes of carbon dioxide during construction in the first 10 years of operation and destroy extensive areas of National Park, which is home to 14 threatened species.
And this project is going to destroy large tracts of that park.
Snowy Hydro 2.0.
After 200 staff were made redundant from Hutchinson Builders, more reports of redundancies and pay cuts are popping up in the industry. The Association of Consulting Architects have released preliminary findings of a survey of over 700 architectural practices. More than $5 billion worth of work has been or is expected to be cancelled or delayed, and 500 workers have been stood down from architectural practices. Project management firm PDS and quantity surveying firm Slattery have both dished out pay cuts, whilst Downer's CEO and executive team have reportedly taken pay cuts and used it to set up a fund to support employees. Peter Byrne from AI Group said the impact to construction stems from economic uncertainty, causing dampening confidence, increasing risk aversion, and lowering investment demand. So what's next? Well, the main impact to the industry appears to be the project initiation and concept stage, and will take a while to trickle down to the construction phase. The biggest risk for contractors at the moment is losing workers or having to shut sites down due to infection. But it is inevitable, particularly in the private sector, that construction will take a hit.
SV Partners' report on the commercial risk facing our biggest industries, most under threat: construction, accommodation and restaurants, professional, scientific and technical services, and retail.
At the moment, the economy is just going to go into a nosedive.
So prepare yourself to weather the storm, but it won't last long before people jump back in the market, looking to take advantage of low interest rates and fallen property prices.
For those that can survive the next 3 to 6 months, I think we'll probably see the biggest Christmas ever on record.